Question: how many times have every single one of us at some point put something off, put something off, and put something off again, again, and again? Let's talk about it. Back in a minute. If you're one of those folks that might have put something off once or twice, or maybe even thrice, three times, welcome to the club of being an actual human being. Good morning. Good morning. This is Jan from New York City. My channel name is Jan from New York City Saves Money. And I love helping people to keep some more of their own hard earned money. Could that be you? I hope so. You know something? We have all at some point in time, maybe perhaps actually needed to delay something or put something off, even once and even allowably, even twice. However, here's where it becomes a little bit of a problem. And sometimes it'll end up costing a person more and more in the future. And I always compare it to a simple cavity. Like if you address it right away, it's a pretty simple trip to the dentist, doesn't take long, relatively inexpensive. Well, let's say less expensive than some other procedures down the pike. But it is taken care of, no fuss, no muss. You're out the chair, you're done, and it's history. There you go. Sounds good, doesn't it, right? I even make going to the dentist sound pretty good. There you go. But let's say that we ignored that cavity and we let it grow into a more visible gaping hole that actually becomes pretty painful, sensitive. Food debris gets stuck in there and the decay continues and it's not good. And no one wants tooth loss, and that is for sure. No one wants extensive procedures either. Okay, that could be the result of delay, procrastinate, procrastinate. Let's face it. Why do we procrastinate at times? Because we, all of us in the human race, try to avoid pain. Okay, pain. We may consider that thing we're doing in some way, shape, manner, or form, either a mental pain or whatever kind of pain, or even it's just, or some sort of unpleasantry. Perhaps we're avoiding unpleasantry or what we perceive to be as unpleasant. How many times has this happened to you? You put something off, you finally face the music, right? Something that you actually have dreaded for quite a while. You face the music, you'll get into it, whatever it is, the 10-minute meeting that you thought would be 2 hours, right? And then you realize, hey, wait a minute, it wasn't so bad after all, right? And then you feel a feeling of delight. It's over with, it is now history. You're driving away from it, and what looked like a big thing in front of you is now a speck in the dust behind you as you drive away. How many times has that happened? So we have it. I don't know. I think sometimes we might procrastinate things out of habit, just out of habit, honestly, out of pure habit, maybe not even having to do with avoiding some sort of an unpleasantness or what we perceive to be unpleasantness. In actuality, in reality, it's really not so bad after all. But we do tend to do that, and it actually can cost money in the future. Okay, of course, I gave the example of the cavity situation, right? But the same rule could apply to, you see that little check engine light in your car, or you know what I mean, or the other things going on, or your house really, you think there might be problems in the foundation of your house, and you put it off or whatever the case may be. Always notice that later on that the problem, certain things do get worse. Certain things, if you neglect them long enough. Now, I am a believer of that. Yes, there are times that one needs to procrastinate. And I have even mentioned it in some money saving tips. By the way, I have a question, and this is about stockpiling and procrastination. Have you started a stockpile yet? Hmm. Have you procrastinated? Of course, there goes the bird clock. Let's listen to him a second. Here he goes. Good morning, electronic bird. I purchased that thing for $2 at a garage sale upstate New York about, my goodness gracious, well over 10 or 15 years ago. I have to say, I did get my $2 worth and beyond. You know, let's go back to stockpiling a second. I wanted to turn this procrastination thing into a question, and a question still begs. For some, not for all, because many folks listening to this or watching my channel have either already begun their stockpile or it's an ongoing thing. A stockpile is never like, in my opinion, is not a finished thing. A stockpile of groceries is an ever living, ever breathing, if you will, continuum of events. Okay. But I'm wondering, have you ever considered stockpiling? Have you ever thought that, gee, maybe I could get started with 2 cans of something and put it away? There are a lot of people this month right now that are probably really, really glad, and I mean really, really glad, that they might have listened to many other folks on this platform's tips and tricks over time and started their stockpile, because some of those folks lost $100, close to $100 of their electronic benefit from SNAP, because they were getting that bonus 95 $100. I'm rounding it off. And this month, in this month of March, they took a loss. They took a loss, but the prices have not gone down significantly across the board. In some situations, a little bit, but I wouldn't say overall at this time. Okay, at this time, I'm always a hopeful type of person, but honestly, I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. I hope for the best. That's all I could say. But how many people took that loss and they did not have their stockpile? How many people took that loss, but they did plan ahead because they did, hear about it, or they see their friends or family, keeping stockpiles of groceries and weathering the storm until people can generate more income, or figure out ways. And by the way, there are very specific ways. And recently, I was on the Steve Young 74 channel, and I outlined very, very specific ways on an audio show on his channel, which I'm going to link up in the description box below, because honestly, I think it is worth a review. See, there are times when procrastination is a good thing. Okay, let's say procrastinating getting a haircut. Instead of getting a haircut every 4 weeks, you procrastinate to getting the haircut every 6 to 8 weeks. You are thus saving money, you are saving time, effort, and energy, and it kind of works out. I mean, some people are like, oh no, not get a haircut. But whatever way, works for you, or you figured out a way to save money on water because you figured out a way ahead of time and you decided to save funds for other things, or keep in mind other things that are going up, and you figured it out that, well, I could filter my water, let's say, with a $25 pitcher system. Doesn't have to be, the fancy smancy, if your budget doesn't allow for it, but certainly the $25 investment, I'm just using that $25 as a roundabout figure. Could be a little more, could be a little less, whatever. But you see where I am going with this. This is part of thinking ahead. Being prepared and not procrastinating on certain things is a money keeper. This is a very important way to think. I mean it. Look at myself. I mean, just on a simplistic level. Simplistic level for the listener. Many people who regularly listen to me every single Monday through Friday at 5 a.m. like clockwork, they know that if they put on this platform, there's going to be an upload with the help of the good Lord, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. Eastern. Why? Because I made sure, I made sure that a week earlier that I planned a show for the following week. There you go. And if there's ever a problem, or there's not going to be an upload, I will be courteous enough to indicate that in the community tab, around a community tab. But I like that you would know that, like reliably, like clockwork, you will find a video. Maybe it's not your kind of video, but there will be reliably a video upload every Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. Eastern, because I don't want to procrastinate, because I don't want to live in the world of maybe. I like to live in the world of, gee, I really like knowing that the following week, all my shows have been completed. All my shows have been recorded because I don't want to let down my viewer or listener. That's the way I operate. It's just the way it is. So find ways to try to not procrastinate. Certain areas, yes, procrastinate. If you could put off that haircut, okay, find ways to cut back, find ways to increase, and it all works out for the better on this We Can Do It Wednesday. Well, thank you so much. I hope you don't procrastinate doing the following. Have an amazing, fantastic day. Don't forget to take care of yourselves and each other.